So yeah, I mean, I will battle him.
I reverse punches. Wait, you're a Claymore? I'm Achilles. I'm more clay. I'm
Step back from the throne. You less than poppin' second option. I ain't asked for you, Holmes. My other op can't travel. He ain't asked to be home. He got a C3POs. Now it's Attack of the Clones. What? What? He gonna fucking die!
Close this shit! Close this shit!
Purchase your ticket to be in the building or catch it live on pay-per-view stream.
But yeah, we back. It's your boy ARP once again with the Sorry It's True podcast. We got a couple real interesting topics to jump into today. But as always, I want to chop with y'all for a few before we get into our main topics of discussion. I see a couple of y'all comments too about my background pictures. It should be pretty obvious at this point, right? You could pick that out over here. Well, it's my left, which is Menace, right? Over there on the right, Boyz N The Hood. I did a blog once upon a time breaking down which one is better. For me personally, Menace II Society versus Boyz N The Hood. I'll tell you what helps me create a little bit of separation for me with these two movies. Just the ending. Purely the ending. I love both endings. And I think that sticking to the message and killing the main characters like that, or most of the main characters like that within the end, I think that's a great message that was delivered in both flicks. But let me break down something that I feel is rarely said about these two classics when it comes to comparing the ending. Who's the strongest character out of both movies? And I'll already give you a warning. That's a trick question. The strongest character to me and the strongest moment that even complements the person being, to me, identified as the strongest character is Trey. One of the early signs that they tried to show you is something simple. The cookout early in the movie. When they grow up, he shows up looking like he's fresh out of Express, right? Dressed all dapper and all that, clean and all that, tucked in shirt. Look at everybody else. Look at his surroundings. Now let's just fast forward to me, which is the strongest moment between both movies. I've said before on this channel the term seeing red. Let me tell you my personal definition of seeing red. Seeing red to me is a state where all of your logic, all of your emotions, everything that you would deem controllable about yourself, or the way that you would normally respond if you had a moment to think about it or be calculated or be premeditated, those things are gone when you see red. That's one of the reasons why there's a difference between how the courts will treat you with premeditated murder, right, versus spur of the moment type of shit, right? Seeing red, there's certain circumstances where people just lose control of themselves. Another example of that could be, let's say somebody hurts your mother, hurts your father, hurts your brother, hurts your sister. All logic and common sense can be tossed out the window if people are thrown into certain type of rages. And the clear example in Boyz N The Hood of seeing red is Doughboy. Trey as well, but let's go to Doughboy first. Just lost his brother. His brother was taken from him. His brother was murdered. He's holding his lifeless body and all this blood on him. He takes his body home to his mother, watches his mother go off. He ended up seeing red. Think about when he was in his car. They driving with the top down. You know what I'm saying? They load it up. They don't give a fuck about nothing. There's almost no words being said in the car. Even when they catch up with these guys, right? At the eat outside spot. When Doughboy gets out the car and his boys wasn't fully in red. They was in ride out mode. Doughboy was in red. He wasn't paying attention to any, he didn't care. He had to snap out of it when they tell him like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. This nigga tripping. Cops could be on the way and all that. You walking this guy down, turn your punk ass over. All of that. And even his face after he shot him, look at his eyes. Ice Cube did a great job like delivering that scene in that moment. This man's mind was gone. And he finally snapped when his boys was like, yo, get the fuck back in the car. Let's get out of here. He was seeing red. There was no logic. There was no premeditation. It was, I'm lost in this moment. Trey kind of had that moment. And in that car, and almost no words are being said. You got the peer pressure element. You got the fact that my best friend was just taken from me. I done disobeyed my father. That ain't really like me. I'm out here in the night. We already on the road. I don't even know if we're going to cross paths with these people. You know what type of strength it took for Trey in that moment after he lost his best friend and he's with his other guys and they're going for some type of retaliation to stop that shit and say, I need to get the fuck out of this car. That is the strongest moment of the entire movie. That is the strongest moment between both movies. I don't think a lot of us could have done that. Get out that car. It's too emotional of a moment. And even though Trey ain't fully cut like that, he's not cut like Doughboy, he's still seeing red to a degree. But he had his snap out of it moment before they even got to these dudes. Doughboy had his snap out of it moment by the time it was like, oh shit, I got to get back in this car and get the fuck up out of here before the cops get here. Think about it. That takes strength. So that depiction for me at the end with Trey, and then of course they showed Doughboy drifting off where it's just like, nah, a couple weeks later he died as well. It's such an impactful ending, you know, and then him and his girl go off to Morehouse and Spelman. The message is dope. The message is real, real powerful. I think the ending of Boyz N The Hood trumps the ending of Menace II Society. Of course, both of them have very, very powerful messages. But if you got to pick, you know, I take moments like that and say, this is the strongest moment. This is the strongest imagery right here. This ending is more powerful. Like that starts to create the separation for me with movies like this.